Good afternoon. I'm Kenneth Polcari, and I'm here at the NASDAQ market site, joined by Amir Heshmatpour, Executive Chairman and President of NeOnc Technologies, a NASDAQ-listed microcap biotech company trading under the symbol NTHI. NeOnc Technologies is focused on the development of novel cancer therapies specifically targeting brain and central nervous system cancers. The company is recognized for its innovative drug delivery strategies, including intranasal therapies that are designed to bypass the blood-brain barrier, a significant advancement in the fight against these complex diseases. In addition to his leadership role at NeOnc, Amir is the founder and managing director of AFH Holding and Advisory LLC, an integrated advisory and consulting firm that serves both U.S. and international clients with strategic guidance and access to global capital markets. Since founding AFH in 2003, Amir has led the firm through numerous successful transactions in both the United States and China. Prior to AFH, Amir was the chairman and CEO of Metrophone Telecommunications, a company he launched in 1994 with just $30,000. At age 24, he completed his first reverse merger with DataWave Communications, a prepaid phone card company affiliated with AT&T. Over the following decade, Amir drove Metrophone's expansion through 17 acquisitions, growing revenues to more than $100 million. His business achievements have been widely recognized, and in 2003, Amir was named Businessman of the Year by the National Republican Congressional Committee and served as head of the Republican Congressional Business Advisory Board. Amir's commitment to philanthropy runs deep. His family founded Holding Hands Pediatric Therapy and Diagnostics, which supports children with special needs. He has served on the board of Young Life, a teen mentoring organization, and currently serves on the boards of the California Council on Economic Education and the Make-A-Wish Foundation for Central Coast and Southern Central Valley, California. A proud alumnus of Pennsylvania State University, Amir also serves on the board of the UCLA Anderson School of Management. Please join me in welcoming Amir Heshmatpour to the conversation. Thank you very much. It's a pleasure to meet you. And thank you for making this trip all the way to New York. Listen, based on that bio, I don't really need to talk anymore about who you are, but tell us just a little bit more about how you ended up at NeOnc and how this all started.
Sure. My focus has been in the last 10 years, biotech assets. I've acquired them through major universities. As you indicated, I sit on the board of the Anderson School. And I feel that the best assets come out of these major universities. I acquired NeOnc about 3 years ago through USC Keck Medical School. And with this opportunity, I felt a calling to run the company myself.
Was NeOnc what was it when you said you acquired it? It was a private research?
A private company. It was a private company, had about 80 shareholders. We had one drug in clinical trials, NeO-100, through phase 1. It had started phase 2. And I acquired it, recapitalized it, restructured it. Same discipline I used for my previous biotech assets that I've acquired.
Right.
So yeah, so I bought it 3 years ago, recapped it, restructured it, and raised about a little under 40 million privately, and then took it public.
And you took it public just in March of this year here at the NASDAQ Stock Exchange.
Correct. We took it public March 26th. We rang the bell over here, and March 26th, we got listed on NASDAQ Global Markets.
Right.
In a very tough market environment.
Yeah.
I think the day we went out, the market was down 700 points.
Right.
But yeah.
Right. It was all just ahead of Liberation Day. Right.
That's exactly right. The Liberation Day was going into effect, and so yeah, but you know, we're looking at this in long term. I think we're executing. We're focusing on enrollment and pushing the clinical trials forward.
Okay, so let's talk about this. So you've just been added to the Russell Microcap Index, right? So what does that, because that's a milestone. So what does that milestone mean for the company's visibility and kind of shareholder base moving forward?
So, you know, being added to these indexes gives us path credibility, first and foremost. It gives us institutional investors passive investors. It'll increase our liquidity, and we timed it at a very critical time as we're structuring this deal in the Middle East and moving things forward, broaden our trials. Yeah, I think it gives us significant credibility.
What did you have to do? Because I don't know what that process. So explain to the audience the process of getting listed in the Russell Microcap. How'd that happen?
You know, we just had to be. We just had to execute. You know, have the right leadership in place. There isn't really a guideline. They don't tell us. You know, you're going to be put into the index. But the day that we rang the bell here, I told our management team, I said, next mission is for us to get into the index.
Right.
And the timing worked out to our favor. You know, we got in just 10 days ago or so.
You got in relatively quickly.
Yeah, we got in relatively quickly, especially, you know, I don't know if you know this. Looks like you've done a lot of due diligence on my background. We were going to do a legacy IPO.
Right.
I had an anchor investor through Middle East. That deal didn't close. So I ended up pulling, as soon as that deal didn't close, our bankers were cramping down the valuation. And with my background experience, I just felt I could structure this through a direct listing.
Right.
So I went out and put together about $70 million of commitments between equity lines of credit and an ELOC, equity line of credit, and closed the deal on a direct listing.
Right. That's great. Okay, so let's talk about this because one of the major things that you've just announced is a strategic partnership in the Middle East through a company called MENA, right? So let's talk a little bit about who MENA is, and then walk us through how that deal might accelerate your clinical programs and global reach. So
MENA is owned by NeOnc.
Okay.
The investment that we have lined up is through a family office, large family office called Ghazar Investments.
Out of the Middle East.
Out of UAE. They are about a $3.3 billion family office. 99% of their business is done through UAE government assets and operations. Mm-hmm. That part of the world is diversifying away from oil and gas and real estate into biotech and medtech.
Right, and technology in
and
general.
Technology.
We saw that with Trump's latest trip.
Correct, and I was just there. I'm there all the time. I was just there 10 days ago. I just got back, and it's a $50 million investment. They're going to be buying shares at $25. Above the current market price, there's some contingencies that we have to meet. And we are putting the sub-license into MENA. We will start clinical trials in GCC and North Africa. And what the game plan is for us to basically expand our clinical trials and move things forward faster.
Right.
Stars kind of lined up for us with this partnership because UAE, and especially Abu Dhabi, has become the first mover to start clinical trials. Before, you couldn't start clinical trials unless the drugs have been already approved in the US
right.
or in the UAE. I'm sorry, in European Union.
You're right.
And so they kind of took a different approach. They implemented clinical trials that are not approved yet. We are the first brain cancer company to start clinical trials over there. And they brought in Cleveland Clinic to start the clinical trials under a USA protocol. Ah. And Cleveland Clinic happens to be our #1 site. Dr. David Peerboom sits on our board of directors, scientific board of directors. So the stars really lined up for us. Now we have some contingencies that we have to overcome, but the contingencies are sub-licensing the technology from USC, getting both MENA, which is our investment entity, MENA, is doing an entity called NeuroCure, which is the clinical entity. Those things will take a little bit of time because it's not like, you could set up a corporation in the U.S. within a minute.
Right.
Over there, it takes a little bit of time, background checks, KYCs, where did your wealth come from,
Right.
and so on and so forth.
Right.
So we're going through all that procedure.
All that now.
All
Right.
done now.
Okay, well, so I want to say two things. I'm glad Cleveland Clinic is part of it because they're my health provider. I think they're great, right? I'm down in Florida.
They're the best. I think
Yeah.
they're one of the best in the world.
Yeah.
They are amazing, and we've been blessed to have them as our partners.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think Cleveland, you're in good
Yeah,
hands.
Cleveland Clinic, I think, is one of the premier health providers in this country, right?
Absolutely.
So let's talk about the clinical programs because explain what it is. NEO-100 is actually one of the drugs, correct? And then NEO-212 is another one?
Correct. So Neo, our platform is the largest brain cancer platform out of USC Keck Medical School.
Okay.
We licensed that technology through USC Stevens Center for Innovation. We have 177 patents worldwide. So the NEO-100 is our lead asset. We're in phase 2. We announced publicly that we should be done enrollment of phase 2 by September.
Right.
That is the first drug that's for brain cancer for patients with GBM. That it's intranasal delivery.
Which is GBM is glioblastoma, right?
Correct. And so there's been millions and millions has been spent on GBM, but the progress hasn't been very good.
Right.
My partner, Dr. Thomas Chin, he's a brain surgeon at USC Keck. This has been his life work. He's also a professor of neuro-oncology at the Keck Medical School, and he also has a PhD. He runs the labs at USC. We have an amazing partnership with USC.
Right.
We get a lot of resources, a lot of human capital. We're very cash efficient. If we were outside of the, university academic program, for us to have 4 clinical trials, 2 in phase 2, 2 in phase 1, we would have gone through at least $200-300 million by now.
Right.
So we are very, very cash efficient, and because of our partnership with USC.
Right. So explain the difference between NEO-100 and then what's NEO-212?
So NEO-100 is our lead drug in phase 2. It's our delivery mechanism, pipeline to the brain. It is a drug, but it's also our pipeline that allows us to bypass the blood-brain barrier.
Right. So explain what that means, because I'm not sure what I understand that.
So NEO-100 is a natural substance that allows the people to bypass the cranial nerves through inhalation.
So
it's
through the
non-invasive.
Right.
You put a device over your nose.
And you inhale.
You inhale it, and it's doing very well. Unfortunately, the people that we're getting in this trial, there are people that have failed standard of care protocol. There's no other alternatives. So they come onto our trial and they're only on our drug. They're not doing anything else except our drug. And the data was really, really positive. We're enrolling grade 4 patients. We went to FDA and showed them the data. And keep in mind, it's not a double-blind test. Everyone's on our drug, so it's an open study.
Right.
And so when we went to FDA, showed them the data, they allowed us to enroll grade 3 as well. So yeah, it's our Gantt chart that we've enrolled between phase 1 and phase 2 shows about a 21.5 months increase in life expectancy.
So explain to the audience when you say grade 3, grade 4, what does that mean?
So there's 4 grades. Grade 1, hopefully you catch your cancer sooner the better.
Okay.
Grade
and then it's
4,
more advanced.
It's more advanced.
Okay, I got you.
It's becoming more and more and more advanced. And after grade 4, there's really you're kind of you're at your end point. You're basically, doctors have thrown the towel. So
right.
We can't do anything.
Right.
So at that time, they look at other trials that haven't been approved to come onto a trial out there.
Do these have? I'm just curious, partly for personal reasons, but do they have the same? is this technology considered like chemotherapy technology, or is it different completely from chemotherapy type technology?
It's different than, so the NEO platform is on 100 platform, it's different than chemotherapy.
Right.
Having said that, you asked about NEO 212.
Yeah.
So the current standard of care drug is a drug called TMZ, temozolomide. It's a Merck drug that went off patent. We took that and we bioconjugated it. We paired it, chaperoned it, but it's called bioconjugating in the biotech world. With our delivery mechanism, that was able to be delivered to the brain 4x better with significant less side effects.
Right.
TMZ is very toxic. It's a chemo drug.
Right.
You take it orally.
Yeah.
By the time it gets to the brain, only a very small percentage of it gets to the brain. And we were able to deliver TMZ to the brain significantly better.
Through the inhalation.
This is oral currently.
Oh, it's oral.
Yeah, NEO 212 is oral currently.
Right.
We will be starting the intranasal delivery, and I expect the intranasal delivery will do much better than the oral program. So we're bioconjugated it. We got new IP. We own that IP now.
Right.
It's our intellectual property, and so yeah, it's doing really amazing things. We will finish our we're in our last cohort in enrollment phase 1, and most drugs, about 88% of drugs, fail in phase 1, and so we will have a readout before the year end for NEO 212.
And then you bring these readouts, you bring this data to the FDA, and then that process takes?
That process will take about, from the time that we're fully enrolled with our last cohort to the readout, it should take about 4 to 6 months.
4 to 6 months.
For the 212 program.
Right. Right. Well, it really looks like NeOnc is undergoing a kind of a major transformation from clinical stage biotech to really a global brain cancer platform, right? So tell me, or tell the audience, what's really your vision for the next 12, 18, 24 months, and why should investors be paying attention to it right now?
You know, our vision is really help impact the standard of care.
Right.
That is our vision. I've been blessed to do well. So I felt the calling to run this company myself. Usually I don't run the day-to-day.
The day-to-day.
I'm the executive chair and the president. So, and so I partnered up with an amazing human being, Dr. Thomas Chin. He's given his whole life to figure out how to fight this
particular cancer,
disease. He's specialties on brain. He's a brain surgeon, brain and spine surgeon, and so what I think we're executing. We've taken it from concept to execution. I think investors should pay a lot of attention to us. We will be broadening our clinical trials. We had announced that we've also launched a new CRO with about 30 sites throughout India. As we expand, move from phase 2 to phase, we have a fast track designation. As we expand and hit the end points, you're going to see the valuation significantly increase. This is biotech. This is not like your legacy businesses where there's earnings. With no revenues, no earnings.
Right.
We go through a lot of capital.
Right.
Burn through a lot of capital. But at the end, I think you know, biotech has been in a deep freeze for quite some time. It goes through its ups and downs, and I think we're starting to see some light into the tunnel in the biotech sector. I think we should be looked at very carefully with investors. I think we are executing. We have a good management team. We have access to capital. We have access to broaden our clinical trials internationally, which most companies of our size, they really don't have what we've been executing.
Right. Right. So listen, I think it's been a fascinating story, and listen, for a number of reasons, it's intriguing to me to learn more about what's going on there and how you're managing that process. I'm thrilled to kind of keep up on the progress and how you're doing, certainly over the next 12 to 18 months. And it was a pleasure having you today. It was a pleasure having this conversation. Thank you very much for joining us here. And investors should remember it's NeOnc Technologies, and you can get it on NASDAQ. NTHI is the symbol. Thank you very much. It was a pleasure.
Ken. Thank you.